Hi everyone, I'm Scott and welcome to another episode of The Unlikely Beak. So it's early February 2025. Can't believe we're almost a month away from the unofficial start of the beekeeping season. So we've gotten through our cold snap here in central Pennsylvania, as well as quite a lot of snow. Definitely more snow than we've seen in the last couple of years. So it's been over a month, maybe even close to 2 months, until we've been here to check on the bees. So I've come today to check on everybody, make sure everyone is still doing okay, assess any losses that we might have endured over the last month or so, especially during the cold season, and to give them some pollen patty, which is bee protein, which will hopefully stimulate the queen to start laying and brooding up. We're only probably about maybe 4 to 6 weeks away from the first major bloom here in this area of the state, which would be the red maple tree. So I know the groundhog said 6 more weeks of winter, and maybe that is the case up there in Punxsy. But down here, only a few miles from the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, I'm thinking more like maybe 4 weeks or so before the red maples start blooming. So, and as you may remember, it takes roughly 3 weeks or so for an egg to reach the end stage and become a full-fledged emerged bee out and in the colony, ready to do whatever it is that she needs to do. So we want to get some pollen on them now. Hopefully that will bring us in just before the beginning of that bloom. And then of course the bees can go out and gather their own pollen, natural pollen, which they definitely would prefer over the patties that I've brought. So that's really what we're here today to do. We're not going to get into the colonies and do any kind of checking on them. We're just going to be cracking the lid and trying to assess whether or not I can see any activity in there, see obvious signs that the bees are still alive and still in there doing what they're doing. Slip that pollen in, close them back up, and get out of here. So I'm gonna get suited up and get everything down there and get ready, so I'll be right back. So as I walk up to the boxes here, I'm a little little disappointed at one of the what I see here at the entrance of, I believe, Hive 6. Definitely doesn't look good there. And my guess is we've definitely lost Hive 6. So I'm going to flip the camera around and let you have a look at what I'm seeing so you understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I guess I could be wrong. I mean, we might see something different, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost Hive 6. So this is Hive 7. Not at all, I see a few bees there, obviously, right? So it's not entirely out of the ordinary. Of course, you'll see a lot of dead bees down here and stuff too, right? They normally carry them off, and they're not just right outside the entrance. But this, unfortunately, is a completely different story. And yeah, I'm almost positive we have lost this colony. So don't really see anything else happening here or here, maybe, or here. So definitely not over here Now, going into fall, this was one of the splits that we made from our original Hive 1. And they were not a huge population. Now, when I was here in December and shifted the box in this direction, because I'm was planning on expanding the apiary up through this area, so I wanted to get a jump on that, and I went ahead and shifted the box in that direction so that bees could get oriented to the different entrance direction. They were definitely still in there because they were not happy about that, and they came out and let me know that they weren't happy about that. I had to run back to the car and get suited up. So at this point, I really just want to get into these boxes and see what's going on with them. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to put the camera on, put the camera down here, and we'll get going on it. So we're going to get the patty all ready over here. Bring the camera over here. So we're going to get the patty ready. So I vacuum sealed these and put them in my freezer. It's not the best way to handle it, but definitely definitely extends the life of these things. Nice cluster size. All right. Well, here you go, ladies. I can move you out of the way. Just gonna put this patty right down there on you. Oh yeah, they're mad. Let's get them closed back up. Definitely a good thing to see that many bees in there. Hold out hope for Hive 7. So I'm gonna really just stop talking at this point and just really kind of try to move through everything really fast so that I can get out of here. Because it's only about, it was supposed to be like 55 degrees today, but it's only more like 45 degrees. So not only is that just a little bit too cold for the bees, but it's a little bit too cold for me too. So, oh, yeah. Dead out. Look at this. They did eat a lot of that sugar. A lot of that sugar. But if you see all this brown in here, well, that unfortunately is bee poop. And yeah. So definitely didn't make it. So disappointing. Well, looky here. Got bees. Oh, nice. So as you can see here, they are up eating the sugar. Decent population from what I can tell in here. So I'll slip them a patty here real quick. They appear to be right in the middle as well. So I'm just gonna do the same thing I did back here, and I'm just gonna slide it in there. Slide it into the middle for a good reason. Ooh. Huge population. Oh my gosh. There's a million bees in there. And I unfortunately was not able to get the patty over where they are. So, look at this. Lots and lots of bees outside the box. Go back in the box, ladies. I'm very sorry. I had no other option. So, that cluster looked very, very similar to this other one. They are all over here on the keeper's right side of the box. Look to be, again, a fairly decent population size. I just slipped it right in there in the back where there were no bees. And that's it then. So, as I had feared, the last colony, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that was one of the splits from the original Hive 1, and it went into fall with a much smaller population than some of the other colonies did. So, unfortunately, they did not survive, but they definitely did not suffer the same fate as Hive 6 did, what we were going to call Hive 1 there in the corner. I think they just simply didn't have a big enough cluster, and they definitely had not taken all of the feed that I had given them in the fall. So I think they just, they just didn't have enough bees and didn't have maybe either enough food or couldn't get to the food. So, because we had, wow, like almost 2 weeks of this like brutally cold sub-zero temperatures. So, and actually we usually get that around right now. We usually get that in like February. So, but anyway, as you could see there, the rest of the colonies were doing quite well, and their populations were very decent in size, and now they've got some protein on there too, so hopefully that will get their queen going if they're not already in there going on their own, because they definitely had a lot of pollen stored when they were going into the fall as well. So, but in any event, they've got some of that on there now, and as my wife had predicted, she thought maybe we would have a loss of 2. So far we have lost 2. We're hoping that that's all that we've lost. But the big thing for me now, I know, that is going to be getting into Hive 6 there and cleaning out all the dead bees in there and having a look at that comb to see whether or not that comb can even be salvaged, depending on what it looks like, and even, if there was like some type of disease or something in there, although I don't think so, because that colony was perfectly fine going in to fall. I'm just, again, not 100% sure what happened in there, but in any event, it doesn't really matter because they're gone. So worst case, I'll just scrape all of the comb off of there and re-wax the foundations, and or maybe even just replace the foundations in there or whatever. We'll see what happens with it, but they definitely will be splitting a colony out and into that space again. Very disappointing that 2 of those colonies. I'm actually really surprised at at Hive 6, just because it was such a robust colony going into the fall. But it also was one of the more grumpier ones too. So I have one less grumpy hive down there to deal with, which is in itself, I guess, the only positive that I'm going to take from it. So I think that's going to do it. With any kind of luck, I'll be back again at the end of February to check on them and to see how they're doing and whether or not they need more pollen. Although by then, I believe that the red maple will be blooming and they'll be off gathering their own pollen. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.